In today's video, we're exploring lower limb strengthening for hikers. Now, when I'm talking about the lower limb, I'm talking about the muscles that are basically between the knee and between the feet. And essentially these muscles, the calves and the shins, are incredibly important for any hiker to develop and be aware of. Now, as hikers, we know these areas, they take a bit of a battering on the trail, particularly when we've got steep ascents or descents, and we know we get burny calves or tight shins, particularly when we're dealing with rough or slippery terrain where we have to constantly stabilize our ankles, particularly when we're carrying a heavy pack, when all that extra load on your back does travel down the legs and does impact those areas. On top of this, if you deal with any type of foot, shin, ankle or knee issues, strengthening up these muscles and these areas can be very beneficial for a wide array of areas. And in all honesty, I would strongly encourage almost every single hiker to put some serious consideration into strengthening these areas. But the common mistake we often see from hikers when we're doing this type of training is they do one type of exercise which targets one type of muscle in this area, but typically neglect the others. And essentially, yes, this can be good, and yes, this can be beneficial, but if you're working one area out of 3 potential areas or 4 potential areas, there may be a little bit of room for improvement there, maybe a bit of room for, increasing, upgrading your training. And if you can hit these other areas, it may make a dramatic difference to your time on the trail. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 different types of strengthening up your lower limbs, which are going to strengthen up the calves, the 2 different muscles on the calves, as well as the shins as well. Very simple. Anyone can do them, but very effective for a hiker. So let's get into the first one. Okay, this first exercise is working the front of the shins, also known as the tibialis anterior. Now this particular muscle is super important for helping stabilize the knees, the ankles and the feet. And they do quite a bit of work when we're going on long, steep ascents up and down hill. Now in this exercise, essentially very straightforward. You lean against a wall and you're concentrating on pulling those toes up, getting a big squeeze in the shins and then slowly lowering. And you'll do maybe 10 to 15 repetitions of this. As you get stronger over time, you can load this up with maybe ankle weights or band weights, but very important for strengthening up this front of the shin area. Now, second exercise is probably one you've seen many times before. This exercise is a straight leg calf raise, specifically strengthening up the top of the calves, also known as the gastrocnemius. Now, this exercise you can do 2 legs or 1 leg. You can do body weight or with a weight, and this is really important to help you on those steep ascents, and it also helps stabilize above and below and all the joints there. And this third exercise is known as the bent leg calf raise. This specifically strengthens up a muscle that's a little bit lower, a little bit deeper in the calves, known as the soleus, but it's very important for your hiking. Unfortunately, this gets neglected a lot in a hiker's training. So doing this type of variation where the knees are bent and you're going up onto your toes, very effective. This is a really great one to add to your routine. So there you go, 3 different types of lower limb strengthening for hikers. If you are a hiker, you're looking to improve your performance, your comfort on the trail, I would strongly encourage you to try to hit each of these areas somewhere in your week. You don't have to spend hours and hours training them. You don't have to go absolutely crazy. But if you can tick off each of these areas and these types of movements throughout your week, over time will make a big difference. Now, obviously, with any type of exercise, over the long term, progression is key because the body does adapt to a certain type of stimulus relatively quickly. So we don't want to be doing these same exercises every single week for months and months, but you might do them for 4, 5, 6 weeks and then do a different variation or add a little bit of extra weight or do something a little bit different. And if you do need ideas about that, just reach out. More than happy to give you some ideas there. But hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight into lower limb strengthening for your hiking. And I think if you put a bit of effort into this, it can make a really genuine difference to your time on the trail. So any questions of this, please do let me know. But I hope you enjoyed this video and we'll talk to you soon.